one.
Now you can tell from my everyday fit. I ain't rich, so season and sits with the tricks. I'm just another black man caught up in the mix, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. Cause I'm a freak, so meaning we can hit the sheets. Baby, I can sing, but you don't recognize me. I'm Chuck G.
The one to put the satin on your pants.
Never knew it was so that you shit. What's up, love? How you doing? Well, I've been hanging, singing, trying to do my thing. Oh, you heard that I was banging. Your home girl you went to school with. That's cool, but this is you about a sister and your cousin thought I wasn't. Money day, not day, so just let me hit it, yo. I get around. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was classic. That was classic. Welcome to Pimpoholic TV. This is another edition. I got a special guest here, a legendary guest, and this is your homeboy Maal The Pimp. And my guest for today is who you just heard from the classic multi-platinum song "I Get Around" featuring on Tupac's Shakur for My Niggas album. I'm talking about Money B from Digital Underground. What's going on? Welcome to Pimpoholic TV. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. How you doing, family?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for tuning in, my man. Thank you for tuning in.
Oh, yeah.
So, how everything been going with you during the pandemic, man? How you been holding up doing all this shit, man?
Oh, man, it's good. Just learning new skills, doing a lot of research and picking up new ways to bring it on, you know?
Right. I see a bunch of the platinum plaques big in the wall. We're gonna get to that right there. Let's go back to the beginning though, man. Growing up in Oakland, born and raised in Oakland. Give us a little bit about your life before the music.
My life was pretty interesting before music, so much so that I actually wrote a book, and I hope to have it out hopefully by the end of this year. But, I was originally born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the reason I even came to Oakland is my father was a member of the Black Panther Party, and I actually attended the Oakland Community School, which is a school that was founded by Huey P. Newton and the Black Panther Party. It was ran by Eric Huggins, who was the director. So, I came up in and around that type of environment in Oakland at an early age, which was good because at the school, I got a chance to meet people like Rosa Parks and Willie Mays, and it was dope.
Okay. So how did the music come into play? How did that come into play?
Just, from the very first time I heard Rapper's Delight, in '79, I was hooked. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what is that? Then, I had some older cousins who were heavy into music, so whatever was happening, they had it. So when I would visit the East Coast, the records were around, and I used to follow them out to the little block parties in the school and listen to when they were listening to the tapes of the party. The next day, I'll be right there listening to it. So I got the full hip-hop experience at a very young age. And I just caught that bug.
All right, now, you were part of the group Raw Fusion. How did that come together right there?
Now, Raw Fusion was before Digital Underground. And it It actually started out, the name of the group started out as MGM, which stood for, Mac Moan, Money B. Well, Mac Moan was M. Then G was for DJ Goldfinger, who later changed his name to DJ Fuse, and Money B. So it was Mac Moan, Goldfinger, and Money B, MGM. And, we were rocking, Moan was one of my best friends, and Fuse was like the dope DJ, and we kind of got together through the whole breakdancing scene, and that was popping in the mid-'80s, right? We kind of knew each other. Me and Fuse knew each other, but didn't know each other really until through a mutual friend, CJ Flash. We did a song. I did a song, and he came and did the scratches, and we kind of just clicked from there moving forward. And later, our manager at the time, Sloof, thought that'd be a good idea to change the name from MGM, obviously, so that we don't run into any problems. And
Right.
we decided on Raw Fusion, and we were shopping our demo and doing talent shows and trying to get signed. And there was another group on the scene that was trying to work their single or about to, called Digital Underground, and they needed a DJ. And through mutual friends and a few meetings, we put it all together.
Okay, let me ask you this: who were the original members of Digital Underground? Of course, we know Shock G, yourself, and then the Humpty Hump character. But what are all the original members of the group?
So then you would go to DJ Fuse, like I just mentioned, because he's one of the reasons that I got into the group. Childmaster J, who was there before me, and he eventually left the group and became Big Brother Soul. And he had the group. He actually discovered Dave Hollister in a sense, and they had the song "Spirits" on the Boys in the Hood soundtrack. And then if you want to really go back, before Shock G came to California, he had his original crew consisted cats like Kenny K, rest in peace, and OB PVC crew and Blanco. I'm going way back. This is way before me.
Give us the game. Give us the game. Give it to him.
Yeah, I'm just giving them, So, Shock, Digital Underground was Shock G's baby, and he bought that original idea with him from Tampa, Florida to California. But once he got to California and he hooked up with Childmaster J and H. Gregory, who managed us and Tupac, they were able to put it together and actually bring it to fruition. And then shortly after they had the first record, Underwater Rhymes and Your Life's a Cartoon, they needed a stage crew, a real crew, because he didn't have his people from Tampa here in Cali. And, here comes me and Fuse.
All right. 1991, the movie Nothing But Trouble. You all appeared on Nothing But Trouble soundtrack with the classic All Around the World, same song. I know that motherfucker word for word too. But All Around the World, same song, which is what the first time we heard Tupac before Tupac was now and stuff like that. How did that situation come about to get the song on the soundtrack, and whose concept was the song?
Well, when we got asked to do the song, we knew that the main villain, played by Dan Aykroyd, he had like a B3 organ in his courthouse, and that was his thing. He would play the B3 organ. So when we were asked to do the song, we knew that a B3 organ had to be a part of the song, and Shock came up with the concept of just like, wherever you go, just that all around the world is the same song. We all go through the same problems. We all have the same joys in life. We all love the way that we love, and there's a universal uniqueness about all of us, or a common thread that attaches everyone. All around the world, we all deal with the same thing for the most part, and that was kind of pretty much. But our twist was all around the world, same song. So wherever we go, we're gonna do us. We're gonna party and kick it the way that we do. And Shock made the beat, and he kind of assigned like, Money B, here's your 8 bars. Humpty, this is you. Tupac, you bring it home at the end. And it was Tupac's first record.
First exposure, right.
Yeah, that was his first exposure. So it was, and by then Tupac had already been in the group and part of the touring group. So when we came home to do the record, it was only right that we put him on.
Two things about that video. On your verse, if people look in the background, you see the cameo from Eazy and Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? I call it that.
Yeah. Eazy, Dr. Dre, and Dan Aykroyd.
Right. And another thing, man, listen, for the longest, I never knew Shock G and Humpty Hump was the same person. And then what made me further, for the longest, what made me further not believe it was when the video came out, because when Shock was rapping, Humpty get in the camera, he take his face and push it out the camera. You know what I'm talking about? And he come in doing like that, and he just take his face and push out the camera. So I'm thinking they can't be the same person. They did that scene right there. You know what I'm saying? Then later on down the line, I figured out he just put the nose on and all that type of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was some creative shit. Where did that come from? Because there was some different shit right there. To be one man, then turn into another character and actually sell as the other character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean the idea of the character, is years old. I mean, you think about it. I don't know how old you are, but if you remember Flip Wilson, he played Geraldine. You know what I mean? And then even George Clinton, he had all of these characters. Sir Nose, devoid of funk, and you know what I mean? And that was kind of where I believe the idea spawned from. I don't think you could contain one or even two personalities in Shock G's body. He just had them all. He was MC Blowfish, Peanut Hakeem. He had a few different personas that would take over.
Oh, my favorite three: the Haunted Dance, same song, and my favorite, Kiss You Back. Kiss You Back. Love that shit. Love it. Whose idea was that?
Once again, Shock produced it.
All right.
And obviously him being a huge fan of Parliament Funkadelic, he kind of pulled that element into the groove. But I will tell you that. I'll take a little credit in the fact that when Shock presented it to us, I don't think he was all the way confident in the fact. He was wondering if it sounded too R&B or too popish, because we considered ourselves to be like real hip hop cats, right? We were. But he's like, man, is this too soft, basically? And I was like, dude, if you don't let me on this record, and you know what I mean? And sometimes when we doubt ourselves or whatnot, you look to your brother and be like, man, is this okay? And if they say it's okay, then you just roll with it. And he's done that for me. We've all done that for each other at different points. So.
Right. Now, I see a few of the Platinum Plaques back there. What singles or albums are those for?
You got, I think you got right here, right, in the lower, right here is the Strictly for My Niggas. That's the one that had, that's the single for I Get Around.
I Get Around, right.
Yeah, that's I Get Around single. Above that is Tupac's Greatest Hits. Right above me, behind me is the same song record. Then you got over here is the Britain's Got a Baby that is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Above that is Strictly for My Niggas, the album. And then behind me is the Kiss You Back, Sons of the P plaque. I got the Tupacalypse over there. Then they got I think my mama got the Humpty Dance and I Get Around. The Humpty Dance and the Sex Packets album. So I got a couple around.
I know you said Brenda's Got a Baby. For the people who don't know that's viewing, if you remember the Brenda's Got a Baby video, there's Money B who said, that's not a problem. It's up to Brenda's family. And let me show you how to affect the whole community. I studied all this shit, man.
Yeah.
Now, no Tupac, according to the stories, came on, I guess, the Digital Underground pretty much as a roadie, then worked his way up until what he became. Speak on if you remember the first time you actually met him and how the introduction went.
First time we met him, or I met him, that I remember, it was an audition that he had to do for us because Atron, Atron, damn, Atron Gregory, who was our manager.
Right.
You know, he got presented with this group, Strictly Dope, that Tupac was in with Ray Love and DJ Dizzy. And he was thinking of signing them, and he was like, can you listen to these guys? Now, I think Tupac had auditioned solo for Shock at the studio, but Atron wanted to see and get our opinion on the whole group. So they met us in front of Shock and Flu's house that they were living in together at the time, sort of like our little headquarters. And I just remember jumping out, everybody meeting in front of the crib on the street, and they just started busting. And I was like, they cool, you know? And us being around the same age group, we kind of hit it off a little bit like that.
Gotcha. If you can remember one thing, give us one Tupac memory that just stands out like, man, this right here, something that you would just take to the grave. You know, I'm pretty sure it's a million out, but give us just one that just stands out.
Well, one thing that I always like overall, you know, to give people a little insight, and it's kind of funny, is that he was really sloppy. Like, he would never clean up after himself. So when we were on the road and we had to share a room together, he would just come in, wherever he took his jacket off or whatever, wherever he laid it is just where it stayed. He never picked it up. Or, you know, and he's rolling his blunts, he just ash it out on the floor, on the table, or his soda, whatever it was. He just never would clean up. And, you know, I came from a pretty structured upbringing, meaning growing up I had to make my bed up, keep my room clean, all that shit. But, you know, I realized later that, you know, Tupac probably didn't have that. You know what I mean? He never really had something of his own to have to clean up because he was always moving from place to place and staying with different people and never having his own space. And it kind of, you know, in hindsight, I kind of see that. And then plus, you know how when you make money, you can get people to do common things for you so that you can continue to handle your business. Because if you spend an hour washing clothes and washing dishes, that's an hour or 2 or 3 that you're not doing something productive. And I just believe that when I look back at it, Pop had more important things to do. You know what I mean? His upbringing kind of conditioned him for the way that he needed to live his life. Like, not worry about that shit. You know, like I'm only focused on doing this, you know. So I give him a pass. But back then we used to get into it. I'd be like, nigga, clean your shit. You know? Like we get into it about him not cleaning up.
Gotcha. All right, now, Money B, you was featured on the multi-platinum album Strictly for My Niggas based on the single I Get Around, Tupac featuring Digital Underground, Shock G, and yourself. How did that come about? Was the song already wrote and he reached out to y'all like, I got to get you on this album and come do this right here? Or did y'all come up with it?
Well, the beat was really a Digital Underground beat at first. And he called Shock and was like, man, I got to turn my album in. I need something. And Shock was like, man, there's one beat that I made, but ain't nobody did nothing to it yet. Gave him the beat. He turned around and asked us to be on it. But by the time we were recording it, Tupac had already moved to LA from the Bay. And so he sent the record pre-recorded in case we didn't have time to write our rhymes. He just wanted us on it. So the verse that Shock says, Tupac wrote the original version of that verse.
Of Shock's verse?
Shock's verse. Tupac wrote it. Shock revised it, but, you know, he wrote it. The verse that he wrote for me, I didn't do. I wrote my own verse.
Okay. Good looking out. Good looking out.
But, you know, we got it done.
That video looked like a bunch of fun, man. Like a big pool party, just a bunch of fun. I think I even saw Spice One catch a cameo in that video, if I remember right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
What was that video shot at? And just kind of give us like I guess it kind of give us the vibe and the camaraderie that went on during that time. You know what I'm saying?
It was just a fun time. You know, we were young, bunch of girls, a lot of liquor, barbecue. Like it was like a real. It was really, we was really kicking it. You know what I mean? And you just got to
You
catch
can
that.
tell. You can
You know
tell.
what I'm saying? And that's and it came across like that. And you know, at the end of the day, if you don't get your feet off my couch, down.
Keep it going.
Yeah. Okay, give me a second.
Now, you feature on the Strictly for My Niggas album. Now move on. Well then of course, Me Against the World comes out, and then the Death Row Record situation.
Mm-hmm.
I personally was, as a fan, was expecting to see Digital Underground some kind of way work into the All Eyes on Me album, because I saw a million other features. You know what I'm saying? Did y'all record some shit that didn't make the album, or just by that time there was just so much going on that just wasn't possible? Like, how did that not happen?
You know, I had those same questions from Pac after that album came out, but he just said that he came out. Like, remember, I'm in the Bay, he's in LA, and I think at the time, Shock was even living on the East Coast at the time. So, the way Pac tells it is that he came out and he finished that album in like a week. You know, he just came out and did it. And whoever was around could get down with it, and people that came down to get down got down. Because I mean, if you really think, I don't even think Tretch was on that record. And that was his best friend.
He wasn't.
Right. So whoever was in LA and came through there, they participated, or you know, I'm pretty sure he called and people made a point to go down. Unfortunately, I didn't make it down, and I didn't get the call either. But you know, we talked about it, and he was like, "Man, I'm about to do so much more." So, you know, we were expecting to eventually down the road do some things together.
Right. What was your first thoughts when you heard about the Death Row Record situation? For us to sign it, was you like, yes, this is a good move? I don't know about that, man. What was your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure because from the information that I had, I didn't think that he needed to. You know, he was already a big enough star, and I didn't know it at the time, but he was gonna get out. You know, it wasn't like he had years to do. You feel me? So I think Pac did it. He signed with Death Row out of wanting, for lack of a better word, like he wanted a crew to help, you know, so that he can go at Big and Puff and them.
Right.
So, because he didn't need them musically.
Right, I get
you know
that.
What I mean?
I
So,
get that.
I just thought it was, you know, the way it all played out, it was unfortunate. You know, but I think it played out the way that a lot of people thought it might play out.
With that being said, let me ask, this wasn't even part of my question, but let me ask you this. If you can remember, what was you at the day that you got that phone call about the situation happened in Las Vegas?
I think I was coming from the studio or near my studio in North Oakland, because I remember getting the call or actually getting a page and then stopping at a phone booth. You know, I was getting a lot of pages.
Right.
So I was like, something's up. You know what I mean? Because people were hitting me from like all over the country. And yeah, man, and I returned the call. I think I called my mom back, and then she told me. And it was like, man. So, you know, we were all devastated. And as you would expect when somebody's family member passes away, it was exactly what you could imagine that it would be within our clique, you know.
That's right, exactly. I get what you're saying.
Word.
Let me ask you this. Oh, so when I ran into you in Oakland at the Cool Water event, I saw a Humpty Hump. It wasn't Shock. It was
Young Hump. Young Hump is the newest member of Digital Underground. He's like the me and him, we represent the crew on the road, Money B and Young Hump. And he was chosen personally by Shock to carry on the legacy of
Okay. Okay.
the Humphreys family tree.
Yeah. So is he looked like Shock to me though? Maybe it's because he had the nose and shit on. I don't know, but he kind of looked
Well,
like
he
Shock.
does. He actually played Shock and Humpty in the All Eyes on Me movie.
Okay. 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 And that was my next question with you. The All Eyes on Me movie comes out. You had a cameo in that.
Yeah.
Now, with you being what I'll consider in the immediate circle, and then they're doing a movie on Tupac, uh, how much of your input or your advice was used for that movie?
A lot, especially for the part that we were, the Digital Underground period of the movie.
Right, right,
You know, I commend LT Hunt and Benny Boom and the entire, you know, crew or production. They did everything that they could to make it as authentic as possible, and every insight or idea or just advice about what it was really like, they were open to and they listened to everything that we said. So it was dope
So
to kind of
would you being
relive it.
would you being somebody who knows the situation, knows what's going on, when you look at that movie, you can accept it. You can say, okay, this is for the most part on script.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. It was from my knowledge and for what I know, it was it was very true to what the spirit of what it was. Now people have to realize, when you make a movie, you have to make it entertaining. So and you have to take liberties at some point because they always say it's based on the real life of James Brown or Elvis or Tupac or whatever. So nobody knows the exact conversations two people have in a room if only two people are in that room. You assume and you make it interesting and you mix and you combine situations to make them more exciting because maybe one event or incident alone might not be interesting, and if you're trying to get everything within 2.5 hours, you have to combine certain things and bend the truth a little bit. But that happens with all movies. It happened with the NWA movie, which people like to compare it to, but
Right.
I saw just as many, if not more, truth bit in that movie than what I know about from Tupac's biopic.
Right, right. What's Digital Underground's relationship with Outlaws? Like the y'all, since y'all both share a common friend, you know what I mean?
Well, those are like, Edie and No. Those are my little brothers. Even though I'm the littlest guy, but
Right.
those my big little brothers. Meaning like they were, I remember Edie when he was 15 years old. He was a kid, little chunky kid, and a few years passed. Next time I know, he got tattoos on his neck, and drinking Hennessy.
Right,
And that's how Pop wanted it to be. He raised him. So, but those are my brothers, man. So, regardless of whatever.
few more questions before I wrap it up with you, man.
Okay, yeah.
Digital Underground, what's going? Can we expect anything new for Digital Underground? Any new releases, anything like that, or y'all just gonna continue?
Well, I would say, hang it up. Hold on. Sorry. Like I've mentioned, Money Being Young Hump, we've recorded, like we have 30 songs
Okay.
in the can, like before the pandemic, that we're gonna go through and handpick what the new material should be. Also, I'm gonna start working on a solo project soon, and I'm not sure how familiar people are of NFTs, which is non-fungible tokens. It's digital art and media that's kind of traded and sold through the blockchain technology. So I'll be offering a lot of digital underground collectible pieces and artifacts and music that I have in the collection that no one's ever heard, like original recordings of like our very first live performances and things like that, demo tapes and just rare stuff. So you can expect a lot from the Digital Underground brand in the upcoming year or 2 years.
And one more thing, give them the name of the book that you wrote and when can we roughly expect that?
I'm hoping to have it out by the end of this year. You know, at least know or have a date or be ready or know what's gonna happen. But the title, the working title now is called Hype Man, the Money B story. You can kind of look it up. There's probably some information online about it, but you know, we revised the book because we had a publishing deal that we had to kind of pull it back because things weren't right. So I revised it, but you know, it's when it comes out, you know, you'll be able to search Money B, and it'll be my story.
Man, Money B, man, I appreciate you, legendary Money B from the legendary Root Vision Underground, man. Thank you for tuning in with Pimpoholic Entertainment. Y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man. Much love and much success, my guy, for sure.
All right, tag me when you put it out there.
Yes, sir.
All right, hey, y'all follow me at Money B69 on IG and Twitter.
One.